This viral recipe got over 20 million views on Instagram, and I am gonna break this down by request, step by step, right here for you, so you can make this at your next dinner party for yourself or share it with the family. Now the great thing about this, not only is this delicious and it's gonna rock your next party, the ingredients are very simple, and I'll put those down, and of course the ingredient list, so you have this. When possible, always freshly grate your cheese. It makes a difference, and check out my other video for the homemade taco seasoning. Now that you got your ingredients, the first step is simple. You want to take your ground beef and you want to get that in a hot pan. Now you don't want to use all of your taco seasoning here, but you want to put just enough to get the flavors and everything rolling inside the meat. Now after about 3.5 minutes is when the meat gonna be nice and brown. You wanna probably drain some of this rendered down fat and grease from the meat, and then you wanna place it back inside the pan and season it up a little bit more. After about 5.5 minutes, when you get your meat nice and brown, you're ready to turn that heat off, and now we can start building the tacos. Now when I posted this on Instagram, everyone asked, how did you make the marinade for the tomatoes? So I'm actually gonna show you that here. So you dice up some tomatoes, just like I've done here. And what you wanna do is add a little red wine vinaigrette to it. And now you wanna add your mild sauce. You add about 1/2 cup or so of your mild sauce. And you wanna mix that inside, just like this. Now you wanna add a little bit of chopped cilantro to give it a little flavor, a little bit of green onion, not a lot because you're gonna use that later. So I'm gonna tell you to take a few splashes of red hot sauce, or whatever your favorite hot sauce is, and you wanna throw that in and give it a little heat. Not too much, but just a little bit. And you mix all that up together, just like that. And you let that sit, because that is gonna be the topping to your taco. Look at that. Now the base for the crunch on this, which is my favorite part, is actually the wonton wrap. So we're gonna be using plant-based wonton wraps. They taste the same, just get them out of the cold section near the produce section in the refrigerator, and we're gonna layer these down in a double layer and fill them up really nicely. And you wanna get you a muffin tin. This is pretty much regular size muffins, and you wanna spray it. I'm using some avocado oil, but you wanna get this sprayed really nicely, so that not only it develops a crust at the bottom, but it's easy to come out and it doesn't stick. So these wonton wraps are about a 3x3, and you want to start by layering at the bottom. You want to make sure you're pressing firmly each wonton at the bottom of each cup. Now that you got your first layer of your wonton wrap, now you want to start building it. So the first layer is a nice healthy spoon of that ground seasoned meat. I'm using a larger spoon here, but estimate about 2 tablespoons on the bottom layer. That way you have some for the top. I like in a few of them to hide a nice fresh piece of a jalapeno inside, so that when you bite it, you have a really nice added bonus flavor. Now we want to layer on a nice pinch of cheese on every one, because you're building a double layer on this. Some people said they've seen this before with the one layer, but we're building a double layer. So you want to conserve some of the cheese. You don't want to use all of it, but you want to put enough, so that when you bite into this, it's nice and hearty and everything has so much flavor. Then I sprinkle a little bit of green onion. You don't have to do this on this layer if you don't want to. And the final step is now I double up. Now I add another wonton, and I go back over the top at a totally separate angle, and I relayer every single piece totally separate. Keep it simple here, press down gently, just enough to cover the surface area of the cheese, so you can add on the next layer. All right, once you get that last piece done like that on top, now on that second layer, you want to go back to the meat, get some of that meat in there really nicely, and then at the end you top off anything that you feel like you were skimpy on the meat. You want to load on all the meat. 2 pounds of ground beef is good enough for a nice hearty portion of 12 cupcake taco. Now what you want to do is your final layer, you want to top it off with that fresh grated cheese right on top. And that cheese is going to form, and it's going to add a nice final layer to the top. Now the type of cheeses I'm using is fresh sharp and mixed with a little bit of Monterey Jack, because I like the difference in the flavor. You can use whatever cheese that you like the most. Now we got the cheese and everything all layered up. I threw a little cilantro at the top and a little bit of the seasoning. You do not have to do that, but I love the layers of flavor. Throw this in a hot oven, 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 to 18 minutes. That's all you need. Then we're gonna take this out the oven, and then we're gonna show you how to add the toppings and plate this to perfection for your next dinner party. All right, you wanna let the taco cupcakes sit inside this for about 4 to 5 minutes just to cool off a little bit so they're easy to remove. And then we're gonna plate them and add the toppings and show you how to bring this all together so we can eat. Like I said, let it cool off a little. Now if you want, you can build this with color. You can add a little bit of green onion on top. Just maybe like 2 or 3. There you go. These are so good. I'm using a piping bag, and we're just gonna add a little bit of sour cream right on the top. And just dust the top of it, just like that. Now, as is right here, this is ready to go. This is amazing. You're gonna crush your dinner party with this. It's good for the kids and the whole family, but I like to take a little bit of mild sauce, mix with everything I mentioned earlier in hot sauce, and just drizzle a little bit of that across the top. Just like that, just a little bit. No difference that you would do with a real taco. And I like to do this like that, just like that, to everyone. And if you want, you can drizzle a little bit of guac. This is unbelievably beautiful and delicious, and is a game changer for Super Bowl Sunday, your next party, for the kids, for everybody. And of course, the best part about all of this is when you get to eat it. Now what somebody asked is how much layers it got. I'm gonna cut this, look at that. And I'm gonna show you just like this. Look at that. Look at those juicy layers on the inside. This is everything you want right there. And listen, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't eat my own food, I'm telling you. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. This is definitely gonna elevate your whole taco game on Taco Tuesdays. Every day, football season, the next party, you name it, it's all right there for you. My name is Chef Miguel with He's Got Flavor. Check out my other videos, and I'm getting to eat.